Joining me now in the studio is TRT World Defense Analyst Oubia Shahbandar. Thanks for coming in, Oubia. I mean, one of the most remarkable things he said was, let's first make it clear, I would like to start with those comments he made on the U.S.-Russia relationship and his opinion of President Trump. First of all, he said Russia and the U.S. should not be fighting like animals, and then he kind of criticized a lack of respect he sees for Trump and the people who voted for him. So he basically came out very much pro-U.S., I think, in this conference so far.
That's certainly one way to interpret it. And it was interesting to see President Putin initially try to hedge and say that, in response to the question by the journalist, that, look, this is an internal American domestic matter. But then what he said next was very notable. One, he recognized the American economy is doing great. Markets are high and strong. There's high investor confidence. So President Putin highlighted those facts as sort of indicative of the fact that President Trump's first year seems to be going well so far, and that those that elected him seem to be seeing a return of investment, as it were. So it was interesting to see President Putin go from telling the journalist that, look, he doesn't want to, discuss internal domestic matters in the U.S., but things seem to be going very well in the U.S. since President Trump was elected. So certainly some love being thrown here from President Putin to President Trump based on his first year in office.
Right, and of course asked about Russia's alleged interference in the U.S. election. Yeah, he thinks that's all quote-unquote fake news.
So he believes that there's a lot that the U.S. and the Russians can cooperate on, from national security matters. He raised North Korea. He raised the Iranian nuclear program issue to counterterrorism. So it was clear that Putin saw a lot of opportunities for cooperation between him and President Trump. And what was also interesting was that he was blaming the opposition in the U.S. and Congress also for undermining President Trump's agenda and for President Trump's desire, at least from Putin's perspective, to build a constructive and cooperative relationship with the Russians on these very important matters.
On domestic issues, he also kind of seized an opportunity, if I can say that, to make some statements about the opposition. First of all, I think we have some sound on exactly what he said. We can maybe play that now. If not, I mean, the gist of it was that, okay, let's listen.
It is not up to me to give an assessment of how President Trump is doing. It is up to the American citizens. Those who elected him. Objectively, we see some serious achievements accomplished even during short span he is president. Look at the markets, how they've grown. This attests to the trust investors show in the American economy.
Obviously, that was not the thought I was talking about, but it did actually illustrate what you just said. But on domestic issues, we'll just go forward with that. He kind of made a point to say that it's really the Russian opposition party's fault for not being more active in Russian politics. He alluded to the fact that instead of actually doing the real work, they're too busy constantly staging protests in the streets.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, President Trump made sort of a comparison between his support for competition in the economy, to have a strong and healthy economy, to having strong competition in the political arena as being critical for the political system's health in Russia. Although he did caveat that with, as you said, the fact that there doesn't seem to be a credible opposition in Russia with an agenda to improve people's lives, according to President Putin. Now, of course, as we all know, there have been rallies across Russia by the main opposition leader, Alexei Navalny. They have, in fact, just this morning released their own sort of platform, their own agenda for the upcoming March elections next year. So, and there have been arrests as well of opposition leaders like Alexei Navalny. In fact, he's been going in and out of prison, and he accuses President Putin of trying to silence him in the opposition. So, on one hand, President Putin clearly focusing on the economy and improving people's lives in Russia, and having a real competition in the upcoming elections. He doesn't believe he has any credible opposition or any credible competition in that election. But some of these opposition voices certainly disagree.
Absolutely. Okay. Oubia, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks so much for that. And we'll probably be checking in with you in the coming hours as this news conference continues. Last year, it went on for how long?
It's gone as long as 4 hours before, so we may be in for a long one.
Okay. Thanks, Oubia.